Hey, just wanted to show you an experimental feature I'm working on. So in addition to if you watched the previous videos or used it, in addition to being able to play these instruments here, I added a way to make your own or modify them using natural language. So I'll give you an example. UI is kind of broken right now, but I'll give you an example using the drum machine. So I'll say make it darker, and it's going to figure out what that means. Cool. And I figured out, pull down the tone knob, which was already kind of an aggregate control within there. So that sounds good. Okay, well, what if I want to actually, make it do something that's not already in the instrument? Okay, so like maybe add an echo, give it a triplet feel, and let's see what happens here. This is probably going to take a little bit longer because while this is working, I'll tell you a little bit about what's going on. This is calling into the Claude API, and it's got access to some skills for creating and modifying these instruments. If you're using the core library, that's the patcher skill. So it's the same thing, same entry point, and same prompt for the prompt and tools for the agent. But in this case, I'm just providing a UI in the browser to be able to do it live live in your web browser, so you can do your sort of iteration on creating your music systems with a nice UI that you can then have a playable instrument right there. So it's a little bit, hopefully a little bit faster workflow, or not necessarily faster, but hopefully a little bit more intuitive workflow, and a little bit more approachable by people who aren't music tech people. That's my hope really with this whole project is to enable people who aren't music tech people to make electronic music or to make interactive music systems. And for people who are even just non-musicians to, I think it can be a really good learning tool. I think AI in general is a really good learning tool, but I think this could potentially be a good learning tool for teaching people music theory, teaching people beat making, and things like that. The kinds of things that typically have a pretty steep learning curve, or people just think like, oh, I'm not a musician because I don't have classical training, or I'm not a musician because I don't play an instrument, or I'm not a musician because I don't know music theory. Well, this is an on-ramp for that to me. So this is why I think it's kind of cool. Bottom line is I'm working on this. This is very much a prototype. Obviously, I'm kind of want to try to figure out how to make it go a little faster than it is right now. Oh, cool. So there we go. So it went ahead and added a delay that synced to triplet subdivision. There's not a knob for it because I didn't ask, but you could also ask it to add UI knobs for it. Actually, let's give that a shot. Add a UI control for the delay fall off, and let's see what it does with that. The other cool thing about this is we have a lot of jargon in music tech. And I'm using some of it here, but ideally somebody could just say I want it to feel like it's in outer space, and the agent could figure out how to do that with the operators that are available. And by the way, if you didn't watch the previous videos, when I say operator, what I'm talking about is a unit of audio processing or generation, or music data transformation or generation. So this is under the hood, this is a graph-based audio engine. It can deal with OSC and MIDI, and it can deal with real-time synthesis. So like the typical subtractive synthesis stuff, like oscillators and filters and envelopes and amplifiers, and then also stuff like there's a resonator in here, there's a granulator, and I'm growing that list of available operators so that I can build more things with this, and also so other people can build more things with this. So that's the whole idea. Let's see what happens. See if it gives me that knob. And it might take a little while. But this is, this is again something I'm working out. Trying to figure out the UX in general. Trying to figure out, obviously there's going to be some latency here and some delay here because we're working with an LLM. If you want a little faster loop, one way to do that is to use the agent skills or use the MCP locally. So that's for the more technical users, obviously, but use the agent skills or the MCP so that you can bring your own agent, and that could be Claude, or that could be Copilot or something like that, in whatever harness you want, or that could be a local model. Like you could run Olama, and you could run some of the local models that you can run on a desktop to interact with this in the same way. The idea is it's not agent specific. It's very much agent agnostic. You can bring your own agentic tool chain if you want. And also in the future, for people who just don't care about this natural language interface, which I totally understand, and you want a patcher interface or something like that, I'm going to build something like that too. So if you're familiar with MaxMSP or Meta Sounds in Unreal Engine or something like that, there'll be something like that too. But yeah, okay, cool. So it looks like it added that control. Let's see where it is. I don't see it. It could be that, let's see, what did it tell me? There's new dial for the echoes, trail off, turn it up for repeats, and linger and dial up, reshape to control. Yeah, so that actually just could be like a UI bug that I need to fix. But anyway, the idea is that not only can you have the agent change controls in here to do something that to modify the controls to make it sound the way you want it to, but you can also have the agent modify the instrument itself, and you can have the agent modify the UI itself. So that's a sneak peek at Reuben with AI powered, or whatever you want to call it. I still don't know how to talk about this stuff.